Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Euroman Movie Report, the show where I talk about a movie I have recently watched at my local movie theatre. This week I'm going to talk about Avengers Age of Ultron. Avengers Age of Ultron of course picks up after the events of Captain America the Winter Soldier. And you guys of course remember when we last saw the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the end credit scene of Captain America the Winter Soldier was that we see this hidden Hydra base where we have the Maximoff twins played by Aaron Taylor-Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen, and they are called Miracles because Marvel has leased out the mutant part of the Marvel universe to Fox, so Marvel couldn't use the term mutants in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And this Marvel Cinematic Universe movie begins with the Avengers assaulting that hidden Hydra base, and we have Hawkeye, Hulk, Captain America, Black Widow. They are all together in the assault on that base, and they succeed in conquering the facility. And they discover that Hydra has had the Loki scepter, and on top of this scepter we see later in the movie is one of the Infinity Stones. And inside the stone, after the events of the battle, Tony Stark and Bruce Banner, they discover this artificial intelligence that they decide to use as a basis to control this robotic peacekeeping force Tony Stark has built. And this artificial intelligence, they name it Ultron. It's voiced by James Spader. And I must say, having watched the Earth's Mightiest Heroes Avengers animated series, James Spader has a great voice, and he does some great voice work in this movie. However, in my opinion, the guy who did the voice work on Earth's Mightiest Heroes, his voice was made more robotic, and it was a bit more menacing in my opinion. But James Spader, don't get me wrong, he does a great job. And the film, of course, then sets up somewhat the rifts between the Captain America and Tony Stark, which is gonna lead to Captain America Civil War. And the movie itself is a bit long, in my opinion, because it's over 2 hours. And some of the scenes, like some of the battle sequences, especially the battle sequence at the end of the film, it's a bit stretched out in my opinion. And what I didn't like either is that if you have read the Marvel comics and have seen the animated Avengers, when Ultron's goal about destroying humanity, it's pretty clear. He believes that humanity is flawed and they are a threat to life on Earth. But in this MCU movie, Ultron, he thinks he's Noah, something with he wants to start civilization again with a metal civilization, and that's a bit, in my opinion. Also, the whole plot, we have the Maximoff twins, they aren't born with their powers. Their powers are a result of genetic experimentation by Hydra, and that was a bit. But I know they couldn't say they were born with the powers, because then Fox would say, "Oh, it's our, we have rented the property." But it was a bit, in my opinion. But the acting, like Robert Downey Jr., Mark Ruffalo, and Anthony Mackie, of course. Anthony Mackie, he made a brief return as Falcon, and the other characters from the previous Marvel Cinematic Universe films, we saw a lot of them as well, and like War Machine, and I think that War Machine is going to play a bigger part in Captain America Civil War, but I guess we will see. And unlike what people were led to believe, we didn't get to see Wakanda, but we got to see Ulysses Claw, played by Andy Serkis, and he was good at making this South African English accent. And you also get to see him losing his arm. And of course, if you have read the comic, you know that in the comic that Ulysses Claw, he has this sonic prosthetics on his left arm, and in the film he gets chopped. Ultron chops off his arm. So I guess if he's gonna play a part in a later Marvel Cinematic Universe film like Black Panther or Captain America Civil War, we'll see him with the implant from the animated series slash comic, but I guess we'll see. But all in all, it's an okay film, but as I said, some of the scenes are a bit stretched out, but I guess they wanted to show as much as possible, as much action as possible, but it was a bit long, so they could have cut about 15 minutes from the movie. But it's great. The acting is good, and Robert Downey Jr. and Mark Ruffalo, they both do a great job, and so does Scarlett Johansson and the other actors. But as I said, the voice work by James Spader, I would have preferred they had chosen the guy who had voiced Ultron on the Earth's Mightiest Heroes animated series, but I guess they wanted someone more famous. But if I'm gonna rate this MCU movie, I will give it 4 out of 5 Coca-Cola bottles. And of course, the next Marvel Cinematic Universe movie we are gonna see is of course Ant-Man, which comes to theaters in a couple of months. But from the trailer, it looks somewhat okay. But what was a bit is, of course, if you have seen Earth's Mightiest Heroes and read the comic, you know that Ultron is based upon the brain patterns by Hank Pym, the guy who is Ant-Man. But Joss Whedon, they chose to split Ant-Man and Ultron from each other in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that was a bit because if you see in the movie that the head of Ultron, it looks like Hank Pym's helmet. So I don't understand why they chose to make Ultron look like Hank Pym, but then Hank Pym and Ultron aren't. They don't fit together in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I guess they just wanted to make Ultron look familiar. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next movie review. And don't forget, if you liked this review, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to watch any of my previous reviews, click the link in the description. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next movie review slash movie talk. Bye for now, and have a pleasant weekend.